All right, guys. So as we know, Varjo has finally announced their new Aero headset, and it's honestly very impressive. It really is. Now, if you guys already have an Oculus Quest 2, an HP Reverb G2, you guys might be there just like me asking, should I upgrade? Is it worth it? And what's the big deal? Why does this headset cost $2,000? I'm here to answer that question, give you my opinion as a VR flight simmer, enthusiast, gamer, and someone who's been flying it in VR since 2014. Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Jose, and like I mentioned before, my first flight in VR was in 2014. I had actually owned the Oculus Quest DK1, DK2. I had since sold them, but I recently was able to acquire one of these, which is not very difficult. And I just kind of wanted it as the memories and just to really be able to hold it and see where VR started. Guys, and this is amazing. I mean, just look at this. Is that crazy? I don't know if you guys have seen this. Anyways, guys, my first flight in VR with Oculus DK1 was amazing. The resolution on that is sitting at 640 by 800, and it's not very high. In fact, a Game Boy, I think it's like 160 by 180, and that's a Game Boy. Now, Palmer Luckey had started that company back in 2000, and I think 12. He started a Kickstarter that took off. They ended up making $2.5 million. 2 years later, they were purchased by Facebook for around $2 billion. And everyone was worried then, are we going to need a Facebook login to use the headset? And yes, we absolutely do. We were right with some things. Now, as we move forward, guys, the technology has kept improving, right? And the specs of this new headset that Varjo is bringing to the market is huge, right? I think you guys have already heard about this. Now, I'll just touch up on a few of them that I think are really key and important. The resolution is sitting at 2880 by 2720 per eye, and these are mini LED LCD panels. So they're going to do really good with the blacks and with the colors. And in fact, the color gamut on this, it's very high. The accuracy is like 99% with some other details there, right? So they're saying this is a professional level mini LED panel, which is impressive. Now, they're using aspheric lenses as opposed to the standard Fresnel lenses that we have in these headsets. All in front of me, all have the same Fresnel lenses. Now, what that's going to do is going to remove the mural, remove the ghosting, and allow really edge-to-edge clarity in VR, which is huge because right now, no matter which headset we have here, we're going to see pixels. And in fact, obviously, the DK1's the worst. We still see some with the Reverb G2, although they're very minimal. I think one downside that they have said you might be able to get some chromatic aberration and some warping on the edges, but that's something that I hope that can be worked on with software. And if I'm wrong, maybe someone could let me know in the comments below. Now, the IPD for this headset, it's adjustable right at the bottom. The IPD with the Varjo Aero is adjusted automatically. There's motors that move back and forth that look at your pupils and scan at 200 hertz. And guys, that's impressive. So anywhere you look around in the headset, it's going to keep you in focus and you're going to be able to see everything very sharp. So another note was the audio, right? So it's not going to come with nice speakers like this, and it's not going to have a solution that this has, which is built-in audio right through here. Now, we kind of went a step all the way back here, which this doesn't have audio either. You had to have audio built in from your computer. And what they're saying is that we're going to get a 3.5 millimeter jack, which is actually really good. And they will now provide, I believe it's either going to be an earbud and mic solution to the package, which is something that was not known before and wasn't mentioned. So that's going to be really, really cool. And it's going to at least help out. As far as the ergonomics, you know, this should be really comfortable. They're saying with a halo strap. In fact, one of the headsets that I had before, the Lenovo Explorer, had a halo style design. That halo design puts the weight here and on the back. And it's a little bit better than this design, I think. I mean, it's maybe a matter of preference and your fitment. So we'll have to see. But it does have a fan. It has some integrated active cooling, and that should help out for those longer flights if you're somebody who's fogging up constantly. Now, for the requirements, they're recommending at least an RTX 2060 and any CPU that has a quad processor built. Obviously, the more demanding the title, the more demanding it's going to be on your computer. So even though those are the minimum specs, you can probably play Beat Saber, but you're probably not going to be able to sit here and play DCS or Microsoft Flight Sim with full graphics with that setup. So that's something to keep in mind. If your games are going to be more intensive, you're going to definitely need more horsepower. As I talk about that, let me just cover one thing here real fast, guys. I honestly cannot imagine. I mean, granted, I've seen a lot of people here on social media, all these big influencers, Thrill Seeker, all these people that have gone in, and people are playing all sorts of different games. And I mean, granted, they're playing the stuff that's relevant to them, but my only thought is this: while I've seen the biggest response in the community that I'm closest to, which is the VR flight sim community, people in this community want clarity. Everyone asks, you know, when they join the Facebook group, they say, I need clarity, I need smooth FPS, I need clarity, smooth FPS, I need clarity, right? So we want to be able to read the gauges. We want to be able to see what we're looking at in the plane out the window. You know, is the bogey at 2 o'clock? You know, can I tell what type of plane that is? So with the headsets like this, it's going to be pretty good, but there's still something missing. And we all kind of know that, right? And although I haven't had the privilege to try this headset, I would really like to. But talking to Steve and seeing other people's comments and reviews, there is something there. I mean, this clarity, it's obviously significantly different. Okay, so once you buy the headset, the question is going to be, what else do I need? And with this type of headset that doesn't have the inside out tracking as we see available right here with the cameras, you're going to need base stations. And right now, Steam VR has some pretty good base stations, but unfortunately, they're a little bit hard to get, and they run around $150 each. They say only one is required. And in fact, Euro, the chief product officer, stated during the presentation, during the launch, that he had one at home. He didn't have to. Now, for most use, one will be enough. But I think simmers, you know, who like to move around and turn and do different things, it's going to be a little bit of an issue, right? Because once you turn around, the tracking's not going to be there. Or if you're in a fighter jet and you're flying and you turn around to look at somebody following you, it's not going to be tracking. So I'd probably recommend at least 2. The other thing is you're going to need wands. You're going to need the Vive wands or the index knuckles, and those come separate. So again, you're looking at the headset, you're looking at a base station and wand controller. So once you add it up, you know, you're looking at a little over $2,500-$2,600 depending, and it might be a little bit more overseas. So that's something that, you know, people are looking at and saying, well, you know what, I can't jump into that. If it was an all-in-one package, I might consider it, but it's something just to be aware of. And I think you guys already know this, but again, I can't ignore that. And that's a very real issue. Now, the final question is, who is this for and should you upgrade? So I really think, you know, as you're saying, this is a prosumer headset, right? So we're getting this professional level quality headset, this item that was made for companies like Boeing, Volvo, the Department of Defense, you know, companies that have paid lots of money. And honestly, I don't know how many millions of dollars went into the research and development to make this headset, right? I mean, the technology behind this is really amazing. And the software as well, it's very optimized. Steve was saying that it runs very lean. It doesn't have a lot of stuff. In fact, it runs very well. So right now, we all know how buggy WMR can be, and it's kind of frustrating, you know, so having software that's well done and doesn't have that Windows Y key must be really nice. So again, those are some pros when you consider, you know, we're getting all the benefits that all these companies and all these other people have paid for, and we're getting this without the LiDAR, without the subscription fee, and pretty much they were able to bring the cost down. So yeah, for sure, it's still very expensive. Now, I think it's marketed towards those people who I think are at the very high end of flight simming, racing, and just VR in general, right? Because I don't know that your everyday person at home who just loves Beat Saber is going to pick this up, you know, because Beat Saber on the Quest 2 is amazing. But when you're flying a plane and you're dogfighting and you want to look at the gauges and see how much fuel you have, and you know you're trying to, you know, figure out where the enemy is, or you're doing an IFR approach, you're going to want that clarity. You know, an XP11 P3D Microsoft Flight Sim, you want that clarity. And that's where I see the benefit of this headset. And that's, you know, I'm very hopeful, you know, one day I'll get one of these, but I'm excited to see it. The only other thing I would want from that, it's that field of view, right? So I guess 3 things I would want in a perfect headset: field of view, clarity, and a very low price, right? So I think that would just be amazing. But anyways, guys, is this for you? Should you upgrade? If you can't afford it, I'll tell you straight up right now, your alternatives being the Quest 2 and the Reverb G2, they're amazing. They really are. If you have a Quest 1 and you're like, man, I kind of want to know what it looks like if the graphics were a little bit better, I would definitely recommend go to the G2. You know, if you have a 2060, 2070, 2080 and up, definitely go for it. Just keep in mind that these computers, you're going to need a beefy computer to play the more graphically intense games. So if you have a 3080, 3090, I'm telling you, hands down, you need to have at least a Reverb G2, because the graphics you're able to push, the render scale, it's just really impressive. So now one thing that I was thinking about, even if even if I don't buy this headset, even if I'm not able to buy it, I think I'm still going to benefit from it. You're going to benefit from it in the industry as other companies start taking a look at this. That mini LED LCD panel, it's available out there. Somebody else, another developer can say, you know what, let's take that mini LED LCD and let's implement it in our system. How much better does our headset look? What if we made the Reverb G3 with that, and then maybe we threw a little bit wider FOV, you know, and bumped up the price a little bit? So again, you know, you better believe these other companies are going to buy this headset, dissect it, take a look at it, and it's going to breed, you know, really competition, which is excellent. And I'm really excited. I think Varjo is doing a really good job at bringing down the professional equipment down to a level that's a little bit more affordable, even if it's more for, you know, businesses that might be able to benefit this and need a higher product, but not quite their $3,000 products. And again, like anything else, you know, when you're on the front edge of that technology, when you're starting to buy those things, they're always going to be expensive. So hopefully things will come down in price. I mean, just imagine, you know, I'm also making this video because in 2 years from now, I'm curious, you know, I'm trying to understand where we're going to be as I learn more, but you know, I'm really excited where the future is going to, where we're going in the future with this. And as you guys know, you know, Facebook and everyone, they're really investing in virtual reality. So I think it's a win-win for all of us. I wish the price was a little bit lower for more of us to be able to get a hold of these. But until then, guys, we have some really great alternatives, and I would definitely consider the G2 or the Quest 2. I'll try to have some video reviews on those items later since I haven't done them. And I'm approaching, I think, a year with some of my equipment as well. So I'll be having that coming up here soon. Anyways, guys, if you have not flown or walked around with Quest 2 wireless and Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, I have a tutorial video and I'm gonna link it here because it was a really cool thing that I was able to do, just walk around the Taj Mahal and the Statue of Liberty, and I'll show you guys how I did that. So check out the video here, guys. Feel free to leave a thumbs up if you find any value in the video, and if you stay to the end, thank you so much, and be well, guys. Take it easy. Peace out.